It's almost time for Inzoi. Hey, what's up? Welcome to an introvert's paradise. Yes, in a world that's leaning more and more towards online multiplayer, social games, MMOs, you'll find none of that here. In fact, right now, the game plan is this channel will focus solely on Inzoi. Ah, yes, the life simulator. For those of us who don't get ass in reality. I'm Kendrick Kaiju, and this is the home stretch to Inzoi. We're in single digits now. No matter where you're from in the world, we're either 8 to 9 days or so away from Inzoi. And despite all this talk about getting annexed by the United States, boy, am I glad to be living in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, because I'm part of the 27th group. The anticipation, the wait is killing me. And if you're anything like me, it's doing the same to you, because much like me, you too have wanted this game from the moment you laid eyes on it. What was it now, like 2-3 years ago? In fact, if I had a time machine, I might consider going forward to playing it right this moment. Now, I suppose the smart move is to go back in time and stop myself from making the many, oh, so many bad life decisions where now I'm a YouTuber. But I guess nobody's ever accused me of being smart. Forward it is! But thankfully, it's going to be a busy week. Because last night was the showcase, and I believe today, the streamers who are, beloved and such, have an audience and such. The lucky ones. Sounds like the embargo's off. Sounds like they can just go ape and show us all the gameplay. Which might help us with our fix, but at the same time, I feel like that might just make us want to play more. Because over this past week, they've had a lot of new videos, showing a lot of new stuff, a lot of new footage. And although, yes, on one hand, it's like, ooh, yes, some new stuff. On the other hand, it's like, god damn, I want to play right now. I can't wait to get my hands on this thing. Now, I'm glad that we got the showcase last night. First of all, the timing is okay, because it was just a little bit more than a week out from the game's release. So the hype and the wait is somewhat bearable. And it certainly answered a lot of questions that we had, gave us a lot more insight into what we're getting into, how this is going to play out. First things first, the huge elephant in the room. Everybody's been wondering, how much will this game cost? And the answer, 40 American dollars, which is like 57 Canadian dollars. So I wonder if in Canada they're just going to round up. But really good news on the DLC front. They're opting for a player over profit method. During early access, all updates, all DLCs will be free until the game is launched in full. And how long will that be? When will it launch in full? Well, the producer K-Jun says, when we all agree that it's ready. That's when we exit early access. And when he said we, he didn't mean just his team. He meant the team plus the player base, at least the ones who are given the feedback. When everybody's on the same page, and when everyone can agree, oh yeah, this is the base game experience. Now you can leave early access. And don't get me wrong, there's definitely going to be limits to that. There's no way Crafton is sitting around for like 10 years. This ain't going to be a Star Citizen type of situation. It's not going to be like 13 years later, and we're still in alpha. There's no way Crafton's gonna go along with that. Keep giving away free shit for like 10 years? No way. I think what's more realistic is, I don't know, probably a year, maybe 2 from now. In fact, let's pull up the roadmap. I know it runs till December, but I didn't really look at the individual updates, what was in it. I think now's a good time to do that, so we can get a pretty good idea of what they're planning on accomplishing. And if it's enough stuff, then I could totally see them exiting early access at the end of the year or early next year, depending on where they end. So the first update's in May, And the first thing they're dropping is the mod kit. Thank God. If this modding community is anything like the Sims modding community, I ain't ever leaving my house. I will not have a social life. I'm getting rid of my phone. Nobody should ever even bother trying to contact me. Changes to weight, muscle adjustment. Now, I'm a little bit annoyed this isn't already in the game, but with that being said, if they're like, we gotta get that in there. We're gonna have to push this thing back to May. No. It's cool. Everybody looks so beautiful anyways. We'll all be slim and muscular. It's cool. I don't have to be that realistic. In fact, I feel better about myself being in shape in the game and not like in real life. Which is, of course, flub from all the grub. Relationship improvements, adoption system. I'm not trying to have my own kids, let alone adopt someone else's. They got to do the fun part, I have to do the bullshit? No way. Build mode improvements, new furniture. Oh man, I can't wait to get into build mode. I hope it doesn't need that many improvements. Create a Zoi improvements. My goodness, I hope there already has been improvements since the demo, because during the demo, the one thing that really annoyed me was you can't pick individual parts of your face, meaning you can't choose a new set of eyes, nose, or mouth. You just get the preset, and you have to try to sculpt what you want from there. You can pinch and pull, but from what I recall, you can't pinch and pull absolutely everything, and there's limits to how far you can go. So unless you kind of look like these beautiful Zois, these model-esque Zois, you're kind of shit out of luck in making yourself, bud. So I hope that's already in the game, but if not, I'm hoping by the first update that'll be there. Update 2 in August. Ghost play, oh my god. Time for some supernatural fun. Swimming in pools. Oh, this is exactly like Sims 4. No pools or swimming off the top. But that's where the similarities end. More resources for editing city. I like. AI build mode? I don't know what that means. But I like their use of AI. The smart Zoi, and then being able to make clothes and stuff. I like all of that, so this is probably good. Freelancer jobs, cool. Like, more options the better, so you can just have different characters, different stories. Improvements to text messages and skills. Oh, okay. Parenting improvements. I don't really care. I'm telling you, if Zoi Kendrick knocks up his Zoi girlfriend, you better believe I'm going for a pack of Zoi cigarettes and then moving to Tijuana, Mexico. Or this cat island that they speak of on screen here. Third update in October. Family tree. Hotkey customization. Build mode adjust object size. New furniture. Moving homes. Create a Zoi improvements. Again, I hope the changes I want have come in way before this. Mod updates. Cool. A memory system? So what the hell does that mean? Like, do people not recognize each other? That can't be it. I think there was a memory system in Sims 2, right? I don't remember how that works. Oh, wasn't that like the milestones, like your first kiss, when you had your first kid, when you got married? In my case, when I ran off to Kitty Island. Yeah, if that's the case, yeah, that's cool. I mean, it's not the end of the world if they don't add it in. Moving cities. Oh, that's interesting. So you can't move cities. That's okay. I'm going to the Korean place anyways. Oh, wait a minute. I can't go for that pack of Zoi cigarettes then. Well, maybe I could turn off pregnancies. Interaction responses based on traits. So what are we basing our responses on now? There's generic? Whatever, that's cool. I guess we'll find out next week. Build mode improvements, new furniture, more create a Zoi improvements, mod updates, new outfits, indoor temperature. What does that mean? Does it mean like it's always cold or something on the inside now and we can adjust that later? It can't possibly mean that. There's no way we're all walking around in our friggin' winter coats, indoors, having dinner, making dinner. No way. It's gotta be maybe like you walk in and it's always warm. Maybe in the future you can make it cold. If everything goes according to plan, they're gonna get a lot done. And considering the fact there's a lot of repeat, like create a Zoi improvement, build mode improvements, mod updates. But even things like moving cities, well, that's kind of like just an extension to what they have now. I mean, they will be adding cities in the future. I was going to say, well, it's not like adding a city. Well, they will be doing that too. Yeah, so it seems like they could easily, by this time next year, be out of early access. So to be fair, when they say all DLC and updates will be free until they leave early access, just looking at the stuff that they're offering, other than like new cities and such, it's like, well, yeah, you better add that in for free. If you think you're charging me $30 for indoor temperature, you got another thing coming, Crafton. Driving is a big thing. That's one thing Simmers have been asking for ever since they got rid of it in Sims 4. But we wanted it back. We knew, okay, the open world's gone, you're not going to be able to drive around with it. But let us own cars. Let us do it like Sims 2 style, where you have a car, you get in, and then drive to the end of the lot and it disappears. That's all. That's all we were asking for. So I know a lot of people where I know I was super, super excited to see that Inzoi was going to be an open world with driving. And not only just driving, because in Sims 3, you didn't really drive the car around, you just got into it and it auto drove to wherever your sim needed to be. But in Inzoi, even though it's not 100% ready, it is at this point an experimental feature, but you can manual drive. And when it's finally ready, and when they finally have controller support, man, this is going to be not just a game changer, but a life changer. Because I love GTA Online. So much so, sometimes I just go for a drive. I don't want to shoot anything, I don't want to do any missions, I just want to drive around. And I know these worlds are definitely smaller than GTA's, but I hope they're big enough where you're just not going around and around in circles. I hope it's big enough where that it can fulfill that need for me. And I know a lot of people go for drives in GTA. And the one thing that I would love, I guess GTA 6 to be, I know I'm getting a little off topic, but I hope their online has kind of a life sim element to it. Or better yet, it'd be amazing if someday Inzoi expands to have some level of third-person shooter to it. It's not impossible. I mean, they do PUBG. They have the people who know how to make it. And they did mention there is jail in this game, and you can break out of jail. And what better way to break out of, well, what better way to go to jail in the first place than to basically be John Wick, but then you slipped up and you went to the slammer. But it's like, wait a minute, I'm John Wick, I'm not fucking staying here, and then shoot your way out? My God. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. I think that's on the stretch part of things, that this will have a third-person shooter element to it. Not impossible, but probably a bit of a stretch. Now, even though shooting people to death is a stretch, what's not a stretch is dying in 16 different ways, including mundane things like slipping and falling. Listen, I was a clumsy kid. I slipped and fell a lot. I'm still here. My Zoe better not slip once and fucking die. I'd be so annoyed. And then there's another one. If you eat like sketchy food, or maybe like food that's past its expiration date, you could die from that too. And K-June definitely mentioned, oh, you could also get hit by a car, so be careful around cars. It seems like in Inzoi, you're rolling the dice every time you leave your bed. Man, I'm running really long. I think I need to do a second part to this video. I think I need to rewatch the showcase and get to some of those other things that I didn't get to, but in greater detail with greater understanding. Because right now I'm just going off memory. I'm Kendrick Kaiju, and you've been watching An Introvert's Paradise. You take care of yourself. I'll talk to you on the next one. Until then, just make it through another day.